All right, MiHoYo has decided that I am not going to sleep tonight because the second I get the video finished for Kujou Sara going over all of her abilities, they drop this on us. The confirmed banner for Baal and Kujou Sara. We need to talk about this, boys. So the official Reign of Serenity banner is going to be Baal herself, Kujou Sara, Sucrose, and Xiangling. Now look, this is a dub. This is a huge dub. Xiangling hasn't been on a banner in a while, and I feel like as of recently, people started realizing how cracked she is. So I'm excited to get some more Xiangling constellations. I don't have C6 Xiangling. Unfortunately, I do have C6 Sucrose, but I am excited for people that want Sucrose to be able to get her because she is awesome. And obviously this is the first time that we've seen Kujou Sara and Raiden Shogun Baal. So let's talk about each of these characters and see if this is a banner that you want to summon on or not. Raiden Shogun, insane support for all of your characters. She's an electro polearm user, is going to be great for refilling ults for your whole team. She seems like she's going to be amazing in like a quick swap team. Even though you do have to stay on her for a little bit, your other three characters can all use their ult. You swap to her, pop her ult, and as you're using her ult doing a ton of damage, you're going to be building up ults for the rest of your team again. And you just keep repeating that process. She seems like she's going to be super fun to add to any team, and I just can't wait to play her and just go around the world with her because she looks incredible. Now, Kujou Sara is another character on this banner, and she is probably the second most hyped character right behind Baal. I think people are more hyped for Kujou Sara than they are for Kokomi. No, they definitely are. 100%. Kujou Sara looks amazing. She's been coined Electro Bennett, if that tells you anything. Most of her kit is based on attack buffing the rest of your team. Both her elemental skill and her elemental burst will buff your team based on her base attack. So if you level her up all the way, load her up with a ton of base attack, she's going to be a huge asset to your team. Sucrose is a character that everyone has started playing recently, except me. Sucrose has always been pitted against Venti, and Venti for the most part has always kind of just come out on top. Everyone just thinks Venti is better. Well, Sucrose is better at what she does. In my opinion, Sucrose and Venti are absolutely neck and neck. One of the great things about Sucrose is you can actually use her normal attacks. Venti, you're literally just shooting like noodles at people. But Sucrose is a really interesting character. She brings a ton of value to your team, and if you're running a team that's focused on elemental reactions, she is always amazing to have around. And last but not least, Xiangling. Xiangling is just a beast. I feel like this character has recently come to light where people are starting to see her value more and more, but she just does so much damage. Her Pyronado is her signature attack, her burst, and it literally just does crazy amounts of damage. I've literally seen that thing hit in Spiral Abyss for like 50k a hit. It's absurd. For a while, she was absolutely one of the most underrated characters, and then people started realizing she's kind of cracked. I think we all kind of took her for granted because we had her in the early game, but she is easily one of the best pyro DPSs in the game, and she doesn't even have to be on the field to do it. So let's talk about each of these characters individually real quick because I gotta get this video out. So first up, let's go ahead and talk about Xiangling. Xiangling is a pyro polearm user, and she is going to benefit greatly from the catch that will be coming out in 2.1 with the fishing event. That polearm might as well have been made for Xiangling. She's going to be insane with it. It's going to be such a good piece to have on her. It comes with energy recharge, gives you a bunch of crit rate for your burst, gives you a bunch of damage for your burst, and on Xiangling it just makes perfect sense. Depending upon how you want to run her, you can run her with an emblem set. I typically like to run her with a Crimson Witch, but there really is no wrong way to run her. You can run her 2-piece Noblesse, 2-piece Crimson Witch, 2-piece Noblesse, 2-piece Emblem. There's a lot of different ways to build Xiangling, and I'll be honest, I don't even have her leveled up all the way. I rarely use Xiangling, but she is on my radar for characters to build here soon. That's kind of why I've been feeding her artifacts, but when I was using her, I was mostly using her with Tartaglia. This setup basically allows Tartaglia to act like a hydro enabler and then just have Xiangling vaporize on like every hit. Now, all of Xiangling's constellations are all pretty good, I'm not gonna lie, but her constellation 4 is like the money maker, bro. It increases her Pyronado's duration by 40%. That's almost 50%. Definitely her best constellation in my opinion, but C6 is definitely a really nice one to have as well because all your party members receive a 15% pyro damage bonus. So it's just more damage. In general, if you haven't built out Xiangling, I would absolutely recommend building out her Guoba, but her Pyronado needs to be your focus. Her Pyronado does a ton of damage and lasts for 10 seconds. If you stack energy recharge on Xiangling, you can ensure that you can have her ult up as much as possible. And for everyone who doesn't have Tartaglia, running Xiangling with someone like Xingqiu, these two together do so much damage. It is absurd. So Xiangling is absolutely a character that if you do end up getting a couple constellations for while you're pulling for Baal, I highly recommend building her because I will actually be like investing in Xiangling once I get Baal built up. Next character we can talk about is going to be Sucrose. Sucrose has definitely gotten more love recently. She used to just kind of be like an elemental mastery bot because you can see with her C6, she gives your whole party 20% elemental damage. And with her second passive talent, she gives elemental mastery. She gives 20% of her elemental mastery to the whole party. So we would see a ton of like one-shot build teams with Sucrose on it. A couple weapons that she can really benefit from. Me personally, if I have Sucrose on the team, which I don't use Sucrose very much, but if I am going to, Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayer, without a doubt. Super easy to get an R5. Literally the character that you swap to after you switch off Sucrose, that character gets an attack bonus of 48%. That is insane value for a 3-star weapon at R5. She also does really benefit from having sacrificial fragments. The Widsith isn't a bad option because you can get some more elemental damage, elemental mastery, attack. Honestly, all 3 options are pretty good for her. If you don't know how the Widsith works, it's basically just random whichever one you get, which is kind of why I don't like using the Widsith. I like to know what my buff is going to be when I swap. But yeah, in general, I think her best options are either Thrilling Tales of the Dragon Slayer or Sacrificial Fragments. And Sac Frag works really good for her Constellation 1, I believe it is. Yeah, she gains an additional charge of her skill. So you have 2 chances to proc it. And with Sacrificial Fragments, you typically have 3 skills in a row that you can just like spam. So it's pretty good. Now with her talents, I'm not 100% sure how to actually build Sucrose, so take this with a grain of salt. But me personally, I would build into her skill, but focus mostly on her ult. If she's anything like Venti, her ability to group enemies is going to be based on her level, and this ability is mostly just for grouping. It is going to do some damage and it's going to give you your energy back, so it is good to invest in, but I would definitely invest in her ult first, then focus on her skill. Her ult can be infused with an element. It's this giant like crystal fly looking thing that just throws enemies up in the air over and over again. Really solid for grouping. A lot of people are directly comparing Sucrose and Venti now. Venti used to just be like far and away the best animo character period, and then people have really started to be able to see Sucrose's value. Now me personally, I haven't built out Sucrose yet, but just like Xiangling, she's definitely on my list. Now Xiangling's ended up in more teams than Sucrose has, to be fair, but I knew I was going to start building out Sucrose the second I got her C6. It's just a matter of time. Next up, Kujou Sara. We just did a video on her. Is she the new Electro Bennett? We're going to know very soon because she is coming out with Raiden Shogun's banner in what, like a day, 2 days? I'm so excited. But yeah, Kujou Sara looks amazing. She seems like she's going to be a really fun character to play. I think just her dash ability, just that like dodge backwards and then like laying a buff down with like an arrow, I think that alone is going to make her super fun to play. Now, if we're talking about options that might be good to run on her, Favonius Warbow could be decent for energy recharge. Depending upon how Sacrificial Bow actually works with her skill, Sacrificial Bow could be a really good way to keep that buff up a lot. So this might be a really good option, honestly. Aside from that though, I don't think Rust is going to be anything great. I think Stringless might be wasted on her because you're not actually trying to build damage into it. Like her skill's not focused on doing damage, it's focused on like buffing your attack for other characters. The Alley Hunter. Yeah, the Alley Hunter, I can't really see any reason to use this on her. I wish it was better on more characters. It looks so cool. And then if you have the Windbloom Ode, sure. I think Sackbow and Favonius are going to be her best bets in my opinion, but sure, Windbloom Ode will be fine. Now, as far as builds go, don't look at my official build. This is just nonsense. She's just holding artifacts, I swear. As far as builds go, I think she could definitely benefit from like a 2-piece emblem. Keep in mind her attack buff is going to be based on her base attack, so stacking something like the Shimenawa set or the Gladiator set where it gives you plus 18% doesn't matter, at least as far as we know. Honestly, a Noblesse set might not be too bad on her depending. If you are swapping her out completely for Bennett, this could absolutely be really good to put on her because you get the attack buff from her base attack and then you also get the 20% attack bonus from the Noblesse 4-piece. So this could definitely be a good option for her. Now, we don't know anything about her constellations. Some people do, but I do hear that they are cracked. So if you end up getting some constellations for Sara, definitely consider building her because I got a feeling she's going to be really good. And if you're just going all out wishing for Baal, you should get a couple copies. And as far as Sara's abilities go, it's going to be the similar thing to like Fischl, to Bennett. Don't worry about leveling up her normal attack. You're going to be leveling up her skill and her ult. And I think both of these actually give the same buff. We'll have to see once she comes out, but one might be priority over the other. So I might do a little bit of research before you invest too much. Last up, let's go ahead and talk about Zhongli. Last up, let's go ahead and talk about Raiden Shogun Baal. This character looks so sick. One of the most, if not the most hyped character I think we've ever seen. People were hyped for Zhongli, but people are hype for Baal. I don't know if this is just like the biggest the player base has been in a while or what, but bro, people are ready for some balls, you know what I'm saying? So Baal is a character that's gonna like energy recharge, so if you have something like a Skyward Spine, definitely gonna be a big pick. A Favonius Lance could be a really good option for her, but I think the best option that we're gonna have that's gonna come out that'll be free to play for everyone is absolutely gonna be the new polearm, the Catch. I said it for Zhangling and I'm saying it for Baal. This thing looks nuts. And since it increases burst damage, Baal's whole burst where she's in that state where she's swinging around her Musou Ishin sword or whatever, that whole time she'll get a 32% damage bonus from the Catch. So if you end up getting the Catch and you're not using it on a different character, that will absolutely be one of your best bets for Baal. When we're talking about artifacts, I think the best bet for her, just kind of in general, is going to be the emblem set. The 4-piece emblem just makes sense for her. It seems like it was literally made for her. Now, when it comes to substats for her, I think you're going to want to focus mostly on attack while weaving in some like energy recharge, crit rate, crit damage, things like that, because she is going to be a character that's going to want a lot of energy recharge. It's going to benefit her greatly. The further you can push past 100% energy recharge, the more damage her burst is going to do. So that definitely makes you want to have a ton of energy recharge on a lot of your pieces. The question for me is, does that mean that we want to literally have an energy recharge piece instead of an attack piece? I don't think that's the case, but that's definitely going to be a topic of conversation once she comes out. But just me thinking out loud here, I'm going to go ahead and assume that attack main stat and energy recharge sub stat is probably going to be better. And definitely focus on your 1-to-2 crit ratio. 1 crit rate to every 2 crit damage, if you can. For constellations for Baal, we know nothing. Moving on. Now, when we're talking about Baal's talents, we don't know how much leveling up her normal attacks are going to affect the damage that you do in the Musou Ishin state. So if you pop her ult, switch to her titty sword, and then start going in with normal attacks, does your normal attacks level affect that state? Because they talked so much about it being a burst damage, because they talk so much about that being burst damage, and she literally switches to a different weapon type, I'm gonna guess that it doesn't, but I could be wrong on that. And this is all before they come out, so don't crucify me telling me like, oh bro, she just came out, now I know. You didn't know 3 days ago. Why didn't you know this? Back off. We're not sure everything about her just yet, but these are questions that are going to be answered when she comes out, and I will 100% be wishing for her and spending a lot of money to get her. And frankly, I can't wait. But yeah, that's the confirmed Baal banner. I am super excited. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Are you more excited now that you know what the banner looks like? I know I'm super pumped. I can't wait. I'm hyped to get some Zhangling constellations. I'm hyped to get a bunch of Sara constellations. And of course, we're hyped for Raiden Shogun herself. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. Subscribe if you're new around here. Go ahead and comment down below. Let me know who you were most excited for. And before we go, a big shout out to the members of the channel. Thank you so much again for helping make these videos possible. But yeah, I love you guys. We'll probably be streaming on Twitch at some point this week for the 2.1 update. So if you want to come by and hang out, I'll greatly appreciate it. Twitch.tv/thefonzplays. Thank you guys once again for watching. I love you guys, and we will see you on the next one.